First of all, NYC is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Neither do they pay enough money for anyone to think that it's what someone used to build their financial income and whatever. Funny enough, right? The money that I made from NYC is still in the bank account. I've never even touched it. So when people keep saying NYC, you make it look like NYC is something that people make money out of. NYC is not a big deal. I found it funny when people kept highlighting the whole NYC, like, who makes money out of NYC? Let's be for real. I think Nigeria is a very misogynistic country, and a lot of persons like to believe that Nigerian women cannot survive by themselves without a man. And because of that type of belief, when a woman achieves something in Nigeria, they go on and they start trying to attach the success of that to a man, because they solely believe that the system was built for men. But as a Nigerian woman myself, number one, I broke that barrier when I decided to not work for Nigerian companies. I broke that barrier when I told myself that I wouldn't be someone Nigerian companies would be able to employ. I'll be too expensive for them to be able to hire me. If you're someone who you're not in the place that you want to be in life, why are you engaging in sexual activities? Imagine being broke, not being able to afford anything, and then you are actively participating in sex. It doesn't make any sense. Hi everyone, my name is Raye. I come from a middle class family. My mom is a nurse. My dad, he worked with the military before he passed out. I grew up in a stable family. I went to a missionary school in Cross River State, University of Calabar. I studied geography and environmental science. Life in school was nice. I first of all started with medicine, and eventually I couldn't keep up because medicine is not something that I'm passionate about. However, coming from a family with doctors and my mom being a nurse herself, they wanted me to go into medicine because we do have a hospital and all. However, I am not passionate about medicine. I remember one time I went for practicals and I almost passed out in the lab. So I had to reconsider and switch departments ASAP. University was crazy. I spent a longer time in university as compared to the people that I entered with, but I came out well. No, this was my first time. To be honest, I think I stayed in camp for just 3 days. I couldn't stay there for a longer time. I was ill at the time because of, I think, congestion and all of that. So I couldn't stay for a longer time, and they gave me permission to leave camp. But I did enjoy my stay in camp. And I think my major drive for NYSC is because I wanted to make new friends and meet new persons. And I did that. And that's why I also participated in some camp activities. And I left after like the third day. I would say that generally before anything happened, I was enjoying the whole thing. To be very honest, I did not. Social media wasn't my thing before this incident happened. Even if you check my Instagram page, you'd see that it's an account that was created in 2025. So I wasn't expecting the kind of response that I got, and I was not expecting everything that happened to happen to me. But then I think I was shocked by the response, especially the criticism. The fact that people would go through something like this, and when someone came out to speak on it, they would not say, oh, let's join hands and go through this direction. It was very surprising to me because at the time I was thinking that inflation was dealing with a lot of persons as it was dealing with me. If you make your own money, you would, when you're spending it, you would be able to say, oh, this is a lot. So I was thinking that inflation was dealing with a lot of persons. But when I got that kind of response, I kind of got confused. Like, is it just me? Or am I exaggerating? Or is this inflation not happening? It was like, I'd say it has changed for the good. If it hadn't changed for the good, you wouldn't be here, right? I have decided that moving forward, I will only be the kind of person to highlight the good in my life, and I will no longer want to weigh in on the bad and everything. And I honestly think that it's been good so far, even though I constantly receive insults and abuse. I don't want to ever like look at that and say, oh, this is it. How did I feel? I don't think there was a general feeling. Lagos and Abuja, they were my targets, like the places I would have loved to go to. And I have lots of relatives in Abuja. So I was expecting that, okay, you know what, I'll go to Abuja. And when Lagos came, I loved it as well because I just wanted to be far from home. I came here, I was really excited to be here because it was my first time being among Yoruba people and everything, and I liked that. And I made lots of friends initially. People were so nice and so friendly to me. I registered at a gym and the entire energy was really nice, and I love that. I'm trying to put this in a way that it will not come off as me trying to be a victim, but it doesn't change the fact that I was actually victimized. I think I actually kind of felt like abandoned because I wasn't saying anything that was far from the truth. What I said is what happened. That's what's happening in Nigeria. And seeing the kind of spot it put me in, I realized that this is the reason why people don't talk about this. And I just knew that, okay, maybe I talking about it. And yeah, I don't think I was misunderstood. I think that people understand me and people know what I was saying, but Nigerians don't like to, should I say, rally behind something that they're afraid of. And I genuinely believe that maybe most people are afraid of speaking about this, and that's why people just tend to make it look as if they don't understand what I'm saying, but people genuinely understand that. Yes, I issued the apology because I was genuinely sorry for the way that it might have come out. However, I did not stutter, and I genuinely think that what I said wasn't a lie at the time. But when I saw the way that people took it, I just felt like maybe I did not put it in the right way, and I just wanted them to know that I was like sincerely sorry for that. To be very honest with you, I believe that moving forward, I'm closing my chapter on that scheme, and I don't want to keep throwing more light on that. I am way better than that. I have things that I'm building for myself, and I don't want to be known as NYSC all the time. So I will not be answering that. So before I started NYSC, when I was in school, I was learning how to work for international companies because I've always dreamt big and I've always had a target to make more money for myself. And when I was in school, I just saw the ratio at which most Nigerian companies pay. And I just knew that if I wanted to be successful, I would not be comfortable living in this kind of income. So my target was always to work for international companies, and I started learning remote skills that would help me transition there. So currently I'm a digital marketer. I work with some companies located in the US and Canada. I work from Nigeria here in this apartment. And I also run an academy called Vis-a-Vis Academy, where I also teach people how to do this. I would say that working remotely, especially for Nigerians, is they pay hourly, or they can pay a fixed amount of money. For virtual assistant entry level, you can make between $5 to $15 as an entry level. And then for marketers, you can make between $50 to $25. So it depends on the role. What are you good at? If you're not someone who is really technical, if you're an entry level, you can go for a role that will not require you to do too much and get paid low. And then eventually you can transition into a higher role and get paid higher. If you watch the first video that I used to come to the limelight, you will notice that that video was a rant. When I talk about rant, I'm not saying it's not targeted towards a specific thing. I wasn't talking about a specific thing in that video. I was talking about different things. Inflation, I even mentioned, even the car I wanted to get was getting higher. I even mentioned food, egg, and the rest. I mentioned Uber fees as well. I was mentioning a lot of things in one video. That was me ranting about everything. And I felt like if everyone come out to rant as well, the way that I rant, talk about different things you're facing in one video, that is going to be enough to cause awareness and say that Nigerians are dealing with this. And that was my main reason for launching the 30 Days Rant Challenge, because I really wanted Nigerians to be audacious, because we are people who, we are very comfortable, and whenever something happens, we adapt to it. And I was tired of that, because I'm a very outspoken person. When I feel like something isn't working well, I want to talk about it. So I wanted Nigerians to come out and to talk about this, because it's not working well. Why not talk about it? But then it just blew up. I think it achieved one aim, which is letting Nigerians see that they can be audacious when they want to be. You could literally see how many persons had the audacity to set up their cameras and talk about it. You could see how many persons were able to tweet about it. So what I would say is that if there's one thing that I got from that, is that Nigerians are not sleeping. They might adapt to things, but all it's going to take is just one person to be audacious enough to lead them, for them to say, let's do this, and they will follow. I think we adapt easily to situations that we're not supposed to adapt to, and we need to have more audacity to shun certain things. It's not everything we're to adapt to when the put things in your face. You're not supposed to just adjust to it. Like I said, I'm someone who is very audacious. I remember one time in class when I was in school, a teacher said something wrong in class, and I stood up and addressed it, and I said, what you're saying is wrong. And other students were just willing to sit there and to learn it. But I'm not like that. I would tell you this is wrong and I think you should correct it. And I don't think a lot of Nigerians have that kind of mindset or audacity to counter things that are not right. And I think we need to have a lot of persons who are very outspoken to start speaking up, because when we have audacity like that, that energy is going to spread across every other person. So when I came out in public at the time, I was getting a lot of hate and whatever. In fact, the company I was working with at the time, I put them on my LinkedIn bio, and they were getting lots of emails from people telling them how I'm disrespectful and stuff like that. So they asked me to take a break from work. That literally meant that I've lost my job, right? I remember sitting and I'm like, I have lost my remote job. So what am I going to do? Am I going to allow this internet to weigh me down and just take everything? Or am I going to come out with my two legs up and build something for myself out of this? My favorite phrase is, God will not put you in a room that he doesn't think you can't handle. You feel me? So I told myself the reason why this is happening to me is because I can handle it and I can build something out of this. Now, what do I do to build out of this? And I'm like, you have skills. You are a great speaker and you are a great teacher. Keep talking about what you're passionate about, which is remote work. Keep talking about it. Keep building and keep giving knowledge on this. So I decided to turn around and I'm like, instead of this 30 days run challenge has already blown out of proportion, let me turn this around. And then I decided to do something as 7 days to educate remote workers in Nigeria on how to break into the remote space. I know how to teach, I know how to talk, just do this. So when I did the whole 7 days to educate Nigerians into the remote workspace, next thing, people started coming to me for remote advice. And since it was my expertise, I just kept on going and going until I'm here right now. I think it's been impressive. I wake up in the morning and I look around me and I'm like, how did I build a brand out of this? I don't know how I did it, to be very honest. I just know that I woke up a day and I said, I'll take a step today, I'll take a step tomorrow, and I landed here out of that. So I think it's been really impressive and smooth so far. Oh, it's been good financially. Companies will reach out to me for ads on my social media pages, and they would literally offer me ₦1 million, 1.5. I'm like, hello? You guys didn't tell me that content creators make this much money. And before you know it, I'm making money out of it, and it's been really good. I think the best part of what I do is, for me personally, I'm not just a content creator, I'm an edu creator, which means I do educational content. So I think the best part of my type of content is seeing people gain knowledge and gaining clarity. I made a video one time and I said 5 types of business that you can start with 10,000 naira. And recently I got so many persons who started errand business. I got someone who also opened his dry cleaning shop, and he came to me and showed me videos and saying, I got this idea from your content. And I remember crying that day because I was so impressed. Like, this is amazing. And I get ideas a lot. I sleep with ideas and I wake up with ideas, and I just want to keep putting it out there and seeing that I can impact as many persons as possible. My challenge is the troll. People hate me for no reason. They find a reason to hate on me. They find a reason to spit on me. They find a reason to punch me for just doing something that I love. Initially, I did not understand that. I did not understand why people would hate me. I'm someone who's actually very lovable if you meet me in real life, right? So when people started hating me, I was trying to do things to impress them initially, trying to do what they wanted. But then my mommy told me, she said, I need to be comfortable with people hating me, that not everyone has to love me. And I'm a people pleaser so bad. And she was advising me to stop, to just be myself. And I think that conversation really changed the narrative. Even when people troll me on the internet these days, I don't respond to their comments anymore. I only respond to people who show me love, and it just changed from there. So I think that has been my biggest challenge, but right now I'm thriving through it. I don't think pretty privilege is the reason why I'm where I am. Like I said, I think it's more of a skill privilege. I am educated and I have a good skill. So when, like I said, when the whole virality happened to me and I saw that people wanted me to be an activist and that's not something that I can do, I told myself, what am I good at? And that's when the creating content and educating people on remote work came into my mind, and I used that to change the narrative about me. So no matter how beautiful you are, if you don't have a skill, or if you don't know how to break barriers for yourself, it's not going to get you into the right rooms. Are you going to say that all the people that have gone viral, there's not a single person that is beautiful or handsome? Obviously not. It's more of a skill. I'm more privileged skill-wise. The biggest lesson I learned is that your biggest supporters can become your biggest haters. I think people don't talk about that enough, but when people start supporting you a lot, you might get that, it might get to your head and you might be like, oh my God, I have a lot of supporters, I have a lot of fans. But those people can wake up tomorrow and choose to hate you. So you need to tread carefully and know that there's a thin line between love and hate. And one thing is, don't ever let support get to your head. Know who you are and stand through to what you're doing, because people can turn their backs on you at any time. First of all, NYC is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Neither do they pay enough money for anyone to think that it's what someone used to build. It's what someone used to build their financial income and whatever. But I do think that in order to achieve success the way I have, you have to build something before that scheme, or you have to build something in that scheme, right? If you check an American, because I'm someone who I follow American creators a lot, because I work with more international companies, so I'm tapping into their system. If you see an American, when an American buys a car and they post a picture of their car, in the comment section, I see young persons like myself dropping images of their own car. Oh my God, I just got my car, I just got my car. So that made me realize that as a Nigerian, whatever you set your mind to achieve, you can achieve it. And that's why I started working towards getting a car for a very long time now, since I was in school. Like I said, I started remote work since I was in school. So I've been working towards it. I've been putting money in my bank account for it. And I always tell myself that when the time is right, I'm going to get a car. So it's not a matter of something that is impossible to achieve. If you work ahead of time for something, you'll be able to achieve it. Funny enough, right? The money that I made from NYC is still in the bank account. I've never even touched it. So when people keep saying NYC, you make it look like NYC is something that people make money out of. People do that, especially me. I only did that because I wanted to actively participate in something. I would have gotten an exemption and I would not have done NYC if I did not want to. So NYC is not the source of my income. Like I said, I haven't even touched the money I made out of NYC. I was making money way before I went into that scheme. I went into that scheme because I wanted to actively participate and meet new friends and change my location as well. So NYC is not a big deal. I found it funny when people kept highlighting the whole NYC, like, who makes money out of NYC? Let's be for real. The money that they pay people is just, I think, for transportation and feeding. It's not for anything that, would say it's money or something. I think Nigeria is a very misogynistic country, and a lot of persons like to believe that Nigerian women cannot survive by themselves without a man. And because of that type of belief, when a woman achieves something in Nigeria, they go on and they start trying to attach the success of that to a man, because they solely believe that the system was built for men. But as a Nigerian woman myself, number one, I broke that barrier when I decided to not work for Nigerian companies. I broke that barrier when I told myself that I wouldn't be someone Nigerian companies would be able to employ. I'll be too expensive for them to be able to hire me. That was my first time breaking that barrier. So when I see people trying to taint me as an average Nigerian woman that they can just drag on the internet and say it's a man who got it for you, the only thing that makes me Nigerian right now is my nationality and the fact that I live in Nigeria. Aside from that, you can't use that to taint my reputation. So I did not give a hoot to those type of rumors, because I know myself and I know what I do for a living. And I know that the only thing that is making me Nigerian enough is living here and being from here. Aside from that, I've broken every single barrier around me, and I will not let anyone try to drag me into that misogynistic take. And that's why I did not address it. When people were talking, using the whole man, they were trying to use different narratives, man, this, that. I did not address it because I already broke that barrier for me to go back in there and address things like that. I think I like the hustling and the bustling life in Lagos. It's very energetic. when I go to Abuja, because I also live in Abuja, right? When I go to Abuja, I'm more chilled and I'm more relaxed about my goals, right? Abuja is very beautiful and peaceful, and I feel so at peace that sometimes I'm not even energetic to create content. The last time I went to Abuja, I remember not putting a content on my Instagram or any social media for like a week. And I just realized that Lagos brings out that energy in me. Lagos makes me want to work hard. Because if I leave this estate right now, if I go outside, I'll see a young girl my age holding her phone, trying to film herself. And I really love that. So Lagos makes me very energetic and makes me passionate about my goals. And that's the reason why I really love Lagos as a whole. I think Lagos personally makes a lot of money. I believe Lagos is like the richest state in Nigeria. Lagos makes a lot of money, and I genuinely think that I don't want to come out politically smart or anything for them to bash me, but I think that if the money was being put into good use, Lagos would be the prettiest place in Nigeria. Lagos has the potential to look like South Africa, Cape Town. Maybe not Cape Town because of the hills, but Lagos has the potential to be very beautiful. And that's why whenever I come into Lagos and I look at Lagos, all I see is wealth, revenues to generate money. And I just tell myself that this city, people who come from here, they're supposed to have a shoulder pad, because this place has the potential to be very beautiful. And I genuinely think that if we put that money into good use, Lagos will be one of the prettiest places in Nigeria. Why not Lekki? I mean, why not Lekki? Lekki is where I see young persons. Lekki is where there's a good certain kind of lifestyle here. And to be very honest, the mainland is a very big place. When I came to Lagos initially, a friend of mine was staying on the mainland, and I wasn't able to scale through. I feel like the mainland is like, let's say it's the majority part of Lagos. The mainland is Lagos, that's what I would say. And I kind of feel like the mainland is big and it's not something that I can stay in. But the island is not that big. So it's something good for someone who is introverted like me. And the island has a lot of more activities and fun spaces that you can just chill in. And yeah, that's the kind of lifestyle that I want. It's expensive. It's not cheap, it's expensive, especially where I'm living in. I am sure you guys came in so you saw that. So it's expensive to live here, and I like it because when I want to slack in my goals, I remember I have bills to pay. My monthly bill alone is a lot of money. So I remember, oh my God, you have bills to pay. You have to get to work. I remember one time at work, I wanted to take less hour. They were asking me to take up to 30 hours weekly. And I said, no, I would like to do 20. But when they came with my monthly bill and said, this is how much you have to pay, I had to go back and tell my team lead. I said, okay, I'm willing to take 30 hours a week because that will make me sit up. It will make me more energetic and more productive. And I like that. I like challenges. I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and she was talking about why she doesn't have money and why her life is not moving the way she wanted it to. And there was something she said. She said if that she had a support system or if that she had a helper, she would be able to break that barrier. And then I looked at her and I said, you don't need a support system to break that barrier. All you need is your mindset and yourself to say that I want to achieve this. And I think that's what lots of Nigerian women do. The internet tells us that you have to have a support system, pray for a support system. And I see young girls my age in comment section saying, God, send my helper, send my helper. But most times your helper will find you when you're already helping yourself. Right? You could have money, and when you're in a certain situation, that's when your helper will come to you. So I think that Nigerian women need to start believing in themselves. We are smart, we are industrious, and Nigeria is a very energetic country. If you want to do it, you can, right? Especially with the kind of population we have. If you want to sell to an audience and you say, I want to sell to 1% of the Nigerian audience, you'd be able to do that. All you have to do is set your mind and believe that you can, and don't think that there's anyone out there who is going to come to you for help. Nobody's coming to save you. Know that you're the only one who can save yourself. And when you think that about yourself, you'll be able to break through. I think I was referring to people that have goals to achieve. And honestly, I think for married people, I don't think this is for them because two heads better than one, right? So they already have two heads in their life and they are better than one. I was talking about people that have goals to achieve. If you're in a relationship and you don't have any goals that you set your mind to achieve, you go ahead and keep doing whatever you want to do. But if you're someone who you're not in the place that you want to be in life, why are you engaging in sexual activities? Imagine being broke, not being able to afford anything, and then you are actively participating in sex. it doesn't make any sense. You have to abstain from certain things, not just sex. You have to abstain from certain things to be able to achieve your goals. It could be alcohol, it could be smoking, it could be eating healthy, and sex is just one of that. So it's not just majorly about it's not everyone that has to do it, just someone who really wants to achieve their goals and they want to take all that energy into something else. Okay, so the reason why I said that is because of a word called sexual transmutation. Sexual transmutation is the converting sexual energy and using it as motivation to achieve something. It's a word that exists. Anyone can look it up. So when I said that, I was talking majorly about sexual transmutation, right? So anyone who wants to channel their sexual tension or sexual energy into motivation, productivity, that is my target for everyone who's trying to achieve their goals. Yes, it was made from personal observation, and not just me, from research as well that I conducted, and also from people around me who have also practiced the habit, and they saw results. And I'm like, yeah, this thing is something that people on the internet need to know about. Of course, I think especially Nigerians are very sexual and we're very sexually active. Any tiny bit of information or conversation just leads to something sexual. And you would think that a country that a lot of persons are not financially stable will talk more about financial ability than sex. Well, we are very sexually active, and it's crazy, honestly. Of course, anyone can do that if they set their mind to it, and if we try to limit more conversations about sex and whatever, anyone can do that. But I think we have gone too deep into sexual conversations, and any small thing leads to sex, and that's why we're not able to achieve that right now. But if more people start shunning it, we'll be able to achieve that. I can't say that. It's a personal experience that I'm not willing to share. No. Maybe in 2026, but right now, until the year comes to an end, I have different things that I'm setting to achieve, and I feel like I'm the kind of person that if I maybe like someone, I might start relying on them too much, and I don't want to rely on anyone. I told you already that we are trying to build a freelance platform, and also all of my energy I want to put it into that. And then in 2026, when my schedule is free, I might be open to dating. Expensive, but above all, I'm enjoying the process of setting up the apartment. There are certain things that we are working on, and I'm absolutely enjoying that. But it's been expensive, and as a young girl achieving this, it's been fun as well. I would say find yourself outside where you live in. Remember, I believe I said something. I said that I tried to build myself outside Nigeria, and I did not let the barrier get to me. I'm trying to put myself more in the international market, and I want everyone to do that for themselves. It's either you want to start up a business and your target audience might be primarily Nigerian, but make sure that your secondary target audience is outside Nigeria. Don't let the barrier, the international barrier, cover you, and that's how to thrive when you see outside your location. If you want to get a job and you're only thinking, let's say for example, you live in Lagos and you're looking for a job and I want to get a job in Lagos, you can look outside Lagos. You can start trying to get a remote job in Abuja and eventually transition into going to Abuja. So just look outside your barrier, and you don't know what door is going to be open to you. Oh, wow. I don't do anything too much on my skin. And I think that one skincare tip is do less. People do too much. You know, there are some persons that they scrub, they do this, they do that. And sometimes that would even make you break out. But if you don't do too much and you stick to maybe 2 or 3 skincare products that work well for you, your skin will look great. But we just do too much these days. Everybody wants to have a skincare routine, and you end up doing too much and your skin cannot hold all of that ingredients in, and it just makes you break out. I think what is next for me in terms of work is seeing through that my freelance platform succeeds, building it to the end, and seeing that I don't only teach people how to get jobs, but I also have a platform that after they are done learning, they get into and they try to get jobs using the platform. And I think I'm trying to build relationships, meaningful friendships, female friends, and also I want to have a love life in 2026. So I think that's what is on my to-do list. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, share with your audience, and follow Instablog Niger TV. It was such a great time having this conversation with the entire team, and I really liked it. Bye, guys.